everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome back to my game of Cartograph. If you didn't watch the last episode, you probably should. It'll catch you up to where I am. This is only the second episode, but I covered a lot of ground in that first episode, which I'm probably not going to do again in this one. So, Harlow Bates is my explorer. He arrived at the mountains, and I've been keeping a journal which you can download. There's a link in the video description where you can download. Every week you'll be able to download my PDF, and it'll have an up-to-date map and the journal entries for what I am discovering. Now, if you'll remember, there are three phases. There is the exploration phase, the arrival phase, and the rest phase. And so right now it is time for the explore phase. Last time I had one landmark die, 2 biome dies, and 1 temporary die. And I just wrote that down here so I wouldn't, excuse me, so I wouldn't forget. And now we get to go from the mountains. All right, so it's the exploration phase. So once again, you roll all your dice onto the actual map. All right, that's not bad. All right, so the 4, and then you look up what they are. And so using the book, let's go to the exploration table. All right, so the exploration die is a 4, which is a city. So we have a city here. All right, I'm not sure how to quite represent a city, but lots of houses. And let's do the biomes. All right, so a 1 on the biome is a forest. So we have a forest here. And the 3 is a lake. So a lake. And I'm going to put lake and an F for forest. Now remember, I'm at the mountains. So here I can go to the city, or I could go to the lake. The goal is to find 10 areas and name them, and you have to explore them. So yeah. So by the way, I didn't reshuffle the dice. The last time I revealed a 2 of clubs, so I'll bring the deck back out. And technically I can go either to the city or the lake, but we're going to go to the lake. So what you do is you have to draw, and you draw a what do you call it, a dot for where you're going to travel. So it says mark the coastlines around all landmark. So a coastline is just a couple centimeters of that kind of thing right there. I consulted the exploration, and I returned all dice back to my dice pool. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that is my dice pool. Return all dice to your dice pool. You might want to do this. Okay. All right, now the arrival phase. So choose any location. If the chosen location is not the closest, well, the lake is the closest. You must lose a food. So I'm not going to lose a food. So I'm going to go here. And you draw a dashed line to indicate you're going to the lake. Draw cards from the deck and consult your journey table. So you're gonna have a card you draw for the journey to the lake, and then once you get to the lake. And then you'll consult the appropriate location table and respond to that prompt. All right, so I am keeping this journal here, and basically it's just 1 page equals 1 day's travel. So I'm gonna flip over to day 2 and keep track of here. So day 2, and basically I just use these little notes to help me later create the journal entries. So I woke up, traveled to lake. All right, let's go find out what the lake is. So the lake table, oh yeah, I draw a card, sorry. So we draw a 10 of diamonds. All right, 10 of diamonds. And we go to the lake. Where is it? Here we go. Red Lake prompts. I just want to show you. There's a whole page of Red Lake prompts. I rolled a 10. It says, a foreboding island sits in the middle of the water. Why is it so feared? What is rumored to live there? All right, so I'm going to make a note. There's an island, and it'll have to be a small one. Why is it feared? And what is rumored to live there? What is rumored to live there? Okay. And it says I gain 1 reputation, so my reputation goes up to 2. And gain 1 wound or lose 1 reputation. Well, I'm not going to gain a wound. I'll lose that reputation. That way I don't have to take a wound. Because wounds can come back to haunt you, especially if they're randomly rolled. All right, so I have found myself at this lake that has a small island located in it. And I'm going to have to do some thinking about, why is it feared? What is rumored to live there? You know what I didn't do? I didn't do the journey. Hold on, let's go back and do the journey. I skipped a step. So I find the journey table, which is on page 49, and I'll just draw a new card for it. Or is it? No, you draw a new card. Okay. Oh, we got a red joker. All right. So I have to check the red joker. When you get 3 of one type of joker, your game ends. But there is a joker table. So for the red joker, the first occurrence for the journey. So I'm going to put traveled. The travel creates a journey, a happening. And it says, the first occurrence, a people you had previously visited track you down and confront you. What did you do to insult them? How do you react? All right, people hunt me down. Prompts. What did you do to insult them? What was the insult? And how do I react? Now, these may result in me taking wounds. It depends on how I want to frame the story. If I don't want to develop it on my own, just so you know, I can roll for the people. Let's do that. It's a D20 for the trait. 5. They are loyal. So the people are loyal. Their descriptor is 3. They wear armor. And their focus, 9, is they are hunters. Well, there you go. Okay, so I've got their description. You can further roll. Here's a people continued, where I can say these people are addicted to an odd drug. Ooh, interesting. Okay, addicted to odd drug. All right, then finally, the hunting table. No, that's not it. Here's where you would roll wounds. All right, so here's the outcome oracle. Let's say I want to help me define my story, my journal entry. I could roll on here to see what the outcome is of their encounter. I rolled a 17. A barter. So I know ultimately how do I react is going to involve barter. And there's failure outcomes. There's all kinds of crazy tables here. So that helps me create the journal entries for my visit to the lake and the island. Now the island is its own location. I could choose to go there next, which I probably will. But first off, we want to come up with a name for the lake. Because remember, it's all about naming the lakes. So this lake is going to be named 12 Fertile 10. Fertile Creek. Fertile Creek. All right, so the lake is named Fertile Creek. And it's not really a creek. We'll call it Fertile Lake. All right, so we have a name for the lake. And let me go ahead and write that in. Fertile Lake. And that is the end of the arrival phase. So we named the location. Now we have to do the rest phase. All right, so the rest phase, it says you lose all temporary dice. All right, so I've lost the temporary dice. Lose any one remaining die. Well, I'm going to lose the biome. If you're at a settlement, I'm not. Roll a die, have okay, select 2 different actions from the appropriate action list. So remember, I can converse, sleep, heal, restock, sell, shop. Some of these won't apply if I'm at a lake. Like, I can't shop at the lake. So I am obviously going to choose to, for the rest, I'm going to, I've got plenty of food and plenty of coin, but I don't have any wares. I can choose, I'm going to do a restock, and it says gain 1 food or 1 ware. So I will gain a ware. And then I am going to sleep. So I'll put +1 ware. And that ware could be like, maybe I hunted an animal and got its fur or its pelt. Or maybe I found some leaves that I thought were medicinal and collected them. Now for the sleep, I gain a biome die. And it says you may choose to lose 1 food to gain an additional one. Well, I don't need another one. So that will be the end of day 2. All right, let's do day 3. So I wake up. And now the island technically is the closest, but we're just going to go to the forest. We'll lose a food to do that. All right, so for the, oh, by the way, I forgot. For the rest phase, I'm in the wilderness. If you find yourself anywhere there, you can camp, lose 1 food, gain a biome, converse, or hunt. Rest action phase, settlement phase. So I was doing settlement phases. Oh, shoot. So I can sleep. Oh, it shows, that's called camping. So I chose to lose the food, and I do gain a biome die. But when I sleep, gain a biome, you may choose to lose 1 food. So instead, I will lose a food because I'm in the wilderness, and I did gain the biome. All right, and then rather than restock, it says I can hunt. Roll a die, so I'll take that ware away, back down to 1. And it says you may hunt for food. Roll a d6 and gain that much food. So I only gained 1 food. So I'm back up to 4. All right, I got to remember that when you're in the wilderness, there's only so many things you can do. You can't do those other things. All right, so let's go back to the exploration phase. All right, so once again, I roll the dice. Now I'm not to the arrival. I haven't chosen my destiny yet, or my destination. All right, I'm going to re-roll this one. It's up here. Okay, 6, 5, and a 6. Let's see what these are. Exploration table. Okay, the 6 on a exploration is a discovery. Okay, so I need to draw a coastline here, and it is a discovery. So let's go see what that is. A discovery. You draw a card for it. That's right, I forgot about that. But before we do that, let's do the biomes. I forgot to do the biomes. The biomes are 5, which is 6. Same as closest biome, same as closest. So the closest biome is a forest. So we've got another forest here. And another forest over here. All right, those come back into my game pool. Now we have to draw a dashed line from your previous location. Choose any location. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. So we're going to go to the island. We'll treat that as a location. So I have to draw a card. And I got the poker guide card. I forgot to take that out. I got an 8 of clubs. All right. So explore the island. That doesn't involve a journey, but I will create one. So the island is the closest. So what we'll do is we will go to the what does that say? A black lake, black encampment, black town, black city, black discovery. Actually, this is a discovery. I'm supposed to write discovery here. If I had traveled to it, I would have rolled on that discovery, but I'm not traveling to it. The island, we'll treat that as a discovery. All right, so because there is no island, I don't see any island. Mountains, lakes, open land, black open land. Yeah, let's treat it as a discovery. Let's have some fun with it. All right, so I drew, and well, for the journey, it's just like swimming over. So explore the island. So I swam over. And for the discovery, we'll say it's a black discovery, which is an 8, a historic edifice of celestial significance. So I found a celestial, we'll call it a, well, it says it's an edifice, but we'll just call it a statue. We'll call it a statue. And it says, what astronomical event does it relate to? What astronomical event for this? All right. Yeah, because I'm right there, so it didn't take long to swim over. So I will be pondering on that. But while I do, let's get some prompts. Let's go for, let's see what is the name of the island? We're going to name it. 7, Black. 5, Black Hills. We'll just call it the Black Island. All right, so Black Island. And, there's no people there. So let's just add a little bit more. What's the outcome when I get near the statue? 15 is Vex. 3, Vex and Covet. So I'm going to just write these words down. Vex was and Covet, and see if I can incorporate those into the journal entry. All right. So after exploring the island all day, that's when I find this statue. And then I'm going to have to do a rest action. Let's get back to that. The arrival action we did. Draw a dashed line, which I don't have to do. Draw a card, consult the table, write a sentence or two, name the location. All right, rest phase. Lose all temporary dice. Lose one remaining die. I'm not at a settlement. I select 2 actions from the wilderness. Camp and hunt will be what I do again, because that's really, there's no one there to talk to. So I will camp and hunt. Camp says I lose a food, down to 3, but I gain a biome die. And the hunt is roll a d6 and gain that much food, 2. So I'm up to 5. And lose 1 die of your choice. I'll lose a biome. So I'm getting low on dice here. That is the end of the rest phase. And we'll do one more. I think we've got time for one more. Day 4. The closest is the forest, but before I do, I have to roll the dice. A 1 and a 2. Okay. I'm going to print these out as a cheat sheet so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. All right, for the 2 on the landmark here is an encampment. All right, so we have an encampment. I'm going to just draw a tent and put E for encampment. And the 1 is a forest, of course. This land is covered in forests. All right, we are going to travel to that forest, which is going to involve a bit of swimming and hiking. All right, let's go back to so we did the arrival, but now we have to do the journey table. So see what happens. So journey table is on page 49. So we pull a card. It is a 9. Your travel was blessed by a rare event. Travel to forest. And it says blessed by a rare event. What did you witness? What did you witness? And it says heal a wound. Well, I'm at full health, so that would have been cool. So we get to the forest, and we're going to have to name it. So the exploration table, we draw a card for the... Oh, no, the forest uses the... do you draw another one when you get to the arrival? I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Rest... No. Arrival. So for the journey, choose any... Okay. Choose a journey. Draw a dashed line. Draw a card. Consult the location. Respond to the prompt. Write a sentence. Name the location. Oh, draw a card and consult the journey table. Write a sentence or two. Draw a dashed line from your previous location. And so when you get to the location... Draw a dashed line. Draw a card from the deck. Consult the journey. Write a short sentence to consult the appropriate location table. Okay, so you don't draw another card. Okay, I got it. So you use the same one. So it's a forest red. Okay, so we'll look for the red forest. If I can find it. Forest. Red forest. A 9. Littered. All right, so we arrive at the forest. Now I'll have to name it in a minute. So I got a name. Got a name. The forest is 9. Littered with ruins. Old decaying structures are abundant here. What civilization used to live here? Why have they vanished? What civilization? Why have they vanished? Okay. Mark 2 ruins within this forest. I'm not sure what that means. Mark 2 ruins. Does that mean you have to go visit them? So the forest has ruin 1 and ruin 2. It says mark them. I'm not sure what that means. Mark 2 ruins. Does that mean they are a location? I will figure that out, and I'll let you know in the next video. All right. Lastly, we have to do the rest. So once again, I am in the forest. So for the rest, I will once again do a camp and a hunt. I think I'm going to start aiming towards a civilization or an establishment. We'll see. An establishment or a city. So for the camp, I lose a food and gain a biome. No, hold on. For the rest, let's do it first. For the rest, lose all temporary die and then lose 1 remaining die. Well, I'll choose the biome die. If you're at a settlement, select 2 actions. So, lose a food, gain a biome. So I'm down to 4. But I get a biome die. You can see how my dice are dwindling. And for a hunt, I'm going to get some food. 3 food. So I'm up to 7. And that is going to be it. All right, so as I did in the last video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my notes for day 2 and day 3, and I'm going to create some journal entries for my traveler here, and I'll update my PDF file, which will have the current map, as you see here, and I have a landmark die, I have 1, and a biome, I have 1, and I have no temporary. So that just reminds me next time how many dice I have. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I like games like this that sort of press me to use my creativity and come up with a story. I also like map making games. So if you're interested, I will put a link to where you can find the game in the video description below. All right, that's all I got. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this game of Cartograph. I'll be back in a week with the next episode. Until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.